From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, August the 30th, 2017. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres was set to depart Israel today and fly back to UN headquarters in New York City. Before leaving, the UN chief delivered a speech at Beit HaTfutzot, the Museum of the Jewish People in Tel Aviv, where he reiterated his strong stance against anti-Semitism, his commitment for Israel to be treated fairly at the UN, and the UN's commitment to helping both Israel and the Palestinians reach a comprehensive two-state solution. Guterres noted the upcoming 70th anniversary of the historic vote at the UN General Assembly on the partition plan that led to the creation of the State of Israel, and said that the promise of peace was still unfulfilled. Guterres said both Israel and the Palestinians have a right to live on the land independently and as a free people, as masters of their own fate. Earlier today, Guterres received an IDF security briefing and tour by helicopter of the Gaza border and was shown a Hamas terror tunnel. He then entered the Gaza Strip and later told a press conference that the humanitarian situation there was one of the most dramatic he has ever seen. Guterres also met with Israelis living along the border with Gaza who have faced numerous rocket attacks. He said he was taken by their remarkable attitudes.
I had the enormous pleasure when talking to the families of the kibbutzim to note that instead of what would be natural, a feeling of anger in relation to what is any attack on civilians, a violation of international humanitarian law, I've seen from them an extraordinary message of peace and reconciliation.
Meanwhile, U.S. Special Envoy Jason Greenblatt toured a Hamas terror tunnel today as well. Greenblatt, who arrived last week in Israel with the U.S. delegation led by White House Special Advisor Jared Kushner, is still in the country. He was accompanied today by IDF Major General Yoav Mordechai, who explained the security threats in the area. They also discussed Israeli efforts to help the Palestinian economy. Greenblatt also reissued a call to terror group Hamas to return the remains of the two IDF soldiers, Hadar Golden and Oron Shaul, who were killed during Operation Protective Edge in Gaza, and to release the Israeli civilians Hamas is holding, Abraham Abira Mengistu, Hisham al-Sayed, and Juma Ibrahim Abu Ghanima, who entered the Gaza Strip on their own accord and are also believed to be held by the terror group. Yesterday, Greenblatt visited the Ziv Medical Center in Israel's northern city of Tzfat, where hundreds of Syrian civilians wounded in its ongoing civil war are being treated. He told reporters later, "These are the stories of Israel the world needs to hear, and stories like this show how peace in the region can be possible." 7 members of IsraAid, Israel's non-governmental aid organization, flew to Houston, Texas last night. Joining other team members already on the ground, they're providing assistance to the residents who have been devastated by Hurricane Harvey. IsraAid co-director Navonel Glick told the Times of Israel that the group includes disaster management experts, mental health professionals, and engineers who will all help coordinate relief work and provide basic needs for those impacted by the disaster. A response team organized by the Israel Rescue Coalition will arrive in Houston tomorrow. Relief efforts are also being provided by a number of Jewish institutions in the area, including the Evelyn Rubinstein Jewish Community Center of Houston, whose executive director Joel Dinkin will join me over the phone on tonight's In the News. An exhibition looking at the efforts of 3 leading Hollywood directors documenting the atrocities committed by the Nazis during World War II opened this week in Los Angeles. Filming the camps, John Ford, Samuel Fuller, George Stevens, From Hollywood to Nuremberg, is now on display at the Los Angeles Museum of the Holocaust. The Hollywood giants, known for such work as The Grapes of Wrath and Shane, also documented the realities of the Holocaust, and they share their experiences in this unique footage from their own personal archives. The exhibit was curated by Christian Delage, created and distributed by Paris's Mémorial de la Shoah with support from a number of French foundations, as well as from the USC Shoah Foundation. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, August the 30th. At 7 o'clock, we hear testimony from Holocaust survivor Matilda Freund, who turns 101 this month. She shares her story on the JBS series Witness. At 8, Swarthmore professor and author Richard Rubin talks about being Jewish in America from the JCC of Midwest Chester in Scarsdale, New York. At 9, it's part 2 of a discussion with the author of Jewish Justices of the Supreme Court, historian Rabbi David Dalen, on L'chaim with Mark Golub. And at 10, it's Millennial Perspectives. And as I mentioned, coming up right after this newscast tonight, I speak with Executive Vice President of the Evelyn Rubinstein JCC of Houston, Joel Dinkin, on the impact of the devastating hurricane on the Jewish community and what the JCC is doing to help. That's on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, August the 30th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.